In this video, I'll be discussing how life extension ideas appear in the romantic fantasy The Age of Adaline, released in 2015 by Lee Krieger. After surviving an accident, the main character of the movie gets to remain young for 100 years. I envy her, don't you? Hi, this is the Longevity Culture channel and I'm your host, Elena Milova. Here we are discussing life-extending biotechnologies. We look at how they are pictured in the movies and books, and we speculate which ones have the best chances to enter our life the next decades. If you are curious about that, you're welcome to hit the subscribe button and click the bell to receive notifications of my new episodes. Spoilers alert! Can electroshock stop aging? What happens to people's intellectual capacities as they age? Are supercentenarians indeed pursued by the authorities to investigate the cause of their lifespan? Let's discuss. The Age of Adaline is telling the story of a woman called Adaline Bowman, who was born in the beginning of the 20th century. After surviving a car accident, she is not showing any signs of aging anymore and stays young for decades. Her looks create complications with the authorities, so she has to relocate every few years to avoid becoming a guinea pig for the military. Her daughter, born before the accident, ages normally and eventually becomes an old lady. Sadly, it's the only person who knows of her condition and who can fully understand what Adaline is going through. Romantic relationships are problematic not only because Adaline will inevitably outlive her loved ones who still age, but also because revealing herself can be dangerous. Not willing to live in a lie or be imprisoned, Adaline prefers to be single. But one day, love comes her way. Young philanthropist Ellis Jones comes to meet her at the New Year celebration and, in the best spirit of traditional romance, proves himself worth dating. After a few weeks, they are visiting Ellis' parents. The story takes a twist when it's found that Ellis' father, William, is a man that Adaline used to date and left several decades ago. When it's revealed, shaken but compassionate William tries to convince Adaline to come out to Ellis and live her life with him. Unable to overcome her fears, Adaline gets into a car and tries to run away once again. She experiences another accident and wakes up in the hospital. The developments make her reconsider the value of love and partnership, and she tells Ellis the truth. In the last scenes of the movie, we see Adaline preparing to go out with Ellis. She looks in the mirror and notices a few gray hairs. It turns out the second accident miraculously restarted her aging process. Adaline smiles happily at her reflection and walks away. What a story! Let's tell facts from fiction first. Is it possible to stop aging with a lightning bolt? Well, of course not. Even though we're now using electroshock to revive people, the number of changes to the DNA would have been quite large to make the body repair itself so efficiently as to preserve young looks and health for many decades. It's also not surprising that Adaline could not find an explanation for her unlimited youth in the medical literature. It's only a few years ago that the researchers have determined the hallmarks of aging, the key factors that lead to age-related damage to our cells and organs. In order to control aging, we need to take every hallmark of aging under medical control. Is it possible to age faster after experiencing an extreme shock? Yes. Heavy poisoning, traumas, infectious diseases, damage to the immune system, poor sleep, poor diet, and other strong stressors can indeed make people age faster. Now, thanks to the tests called biological clocks, we can see how the pace of aging is changing in relation to our lifestyle and different circumstances. Are supercentenarians pursued by the authorities to investigate why they are living so long? I'm afraid that's not the case. Even though there are registries of people who live extremely long, and a group of researchers carefully validates every case, this topic does not appear to be so very interesting for the governments or military. And that's a pity, because if they would invest into developing anti-age therapies instead of new weapons, it would have been eventually much better for billions of people around the globe. There are several aspects of the movie that I really like. First of all, it's the fact that Adaline's longevity is tied to excellent health. She's in a perfect shape. She has a good memory, she's witty, well-balanced, and thanks to the accumulated knowledge, she is very successful at work. By the way, the World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and Adaline is a perfect example of what healthy longevity should look like. By the way, according to polls conducted by the researchers of aging several years ago, around 70% of the American population is supportive of radical life extension on the condition of preserving perfect health. To be honest, the opportunity not to grow old biologically sounds very appealing to me. If a lightning bolt could grant me the ability to remain young, I would Enjoy walking outside during thunderstorm. The second thing that I like about the movie is that it illustrates how a long life allows people to keep learning and becoming skilled in many ways. In the movie, Adaline casually demonstrates her knowledge of foreign languages, art, history, and different sciences. Is this likely to happen to real people once we bring aging under medical control? Taking into account that lifelong learning has already become mainstream, I say yes. Radical longevity will definitely lead to high levels of personal development and wisdom, and this is probably the most valuable potential outcome of rejuvenation research. Just imagine yourself having more time to polish your professional skills and standing next to Albert Einstein, Michelangelo, or Carl Sagan. Another aspect that I find very cool is that Adaline is looking like a 30 years old, despite she is 114 years old. She's a supercentenarian. But the changes to her DNA must have been so fortunate that her body is repairing itself faster than the age-related damage accumulates. Although there are so far very few examples of prolonged youth in humans, this is very likely to happen when there are powerful technologies of age management. One contemporary example is Brian Johnson, a software entrepreneur who involved a team of 30 doctors and researchers to help him develop a maintenance system to reverse age-related changes. The result is amazing because Brian manages to look like a 30 years old while actually he is a 45 years old. This was achieved by sticking with a healthy lifestyle with low-calorie diet, rigorous exercise, and multiple interventions meeting his individual biological needs. There is yet another positive example of how anti-age interventions can lead to a younger look. The famous researcher David Sinclair, who is currently 54, is known for his surprisingly young looks that he attributes to a healthy lifestyle, fasting, and a number of supplements that he takes on a regular basis. Of course, many anti-age interventions remain heavily experimental, and the diagnostics required for managing one's longevity are quite complicated and quite expensive right now. But we can expect that the competition on the longevity market will eventually bring the prices down and make those protocols affordable to the general public, just like it happened to the genetic testing around 10 years ago. And now, a small bonus for those of you who aspire healthy life extension. Here are 3 things that you can do to start managing your age. One of them is pictured in the movie about Adaline. First, sleep in complete darkness for at least 7 hours. Second, eat at least 500 grams of fresh vegetables and fruits every day. And third, consider getting yourself a dog. That's all for today. You are welcome to subscribe and to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my views on this movie, and feel free to suggest the movies to review in my next episodes. Bye!